Chapter 10. Practice Test 1. Number 1. Listen to a teacher talking in a music class.
I was speaking with Mr. Henry recently. He was the show choir consultant at MacArthur High for over 10 years. He suggested that we identify our best performer and build our entire performance around him or her. So, we're going to hold auditions at the end of the week to find out who our best performer is. If you want to audition, please put your name on this sign-up sheet.
What is the purpose of the talk? Number 2. Listen to a principal making an announcement in school.
I have a very special announcement to make. This Saturday, Chief Owen James from the Boulder Police Department will present Junior Alex Plummer with the Courageous Heroes Award. Last month, Alex was walking home from school when he saw a boy fall through the ice. Alex jumped into the freezing Colorado River to save the boy. Then he helped to keep the boy alive until paramedics arrived. Congratulations, Alex. We are all very proud of you.
What is the purpose of the announcement? Number 3. Listen to a teacher talking in a U.S. history class.
Your final exam is next week. I've prepared a review sheet with some sample multiple choice and fill-in-the-blank questions. When you study for this test, please don't memorize every name and date. You just need to understand the important events we've discussed, such as the Civil War. The best way to prepare is to review your textbook and make an outline. I also suggest you get together with a few classmates. Quiz each other and compare notes.
What is the teacher mainly explaining? Number 4. Listen to a coach talking to the football team.
No, we've been through this 100 times. Max, when you get the ball, you immediately need to hand it off to Nathan. Derek, at the same time, you have to move right and block the rushing defender so Nathan has some protection. Okay, we're going to run this play one more time. If you guys still can't get it right, I'm going to make everyone run a few laps. Let's go.
What will the players probably do next? Questions 5 through 8. Listen to a conversation between two friends.
Hello?
Hey, Edward, it's Sophie. Do you have any plans tonight? Kendall, Zach, Ashley, and I are going to see a movie at the new theater downtown. Do you want to join us?
Yeah, that sounds like fun. But what movie were you guys thinking about?
Well, we're having a hard time deciding because we all want to watch something different. Ashley and I want to see a romantic comedy. Kendall wants to watch that new horror movie. And Zach is trying to persuade us to go see Avatar.
I already saw Avatar last weekend with my family. I really liked it, but I don't think I can sit through it again. It's almost 3 hours long. And I hate horror movies. I saw Nightmare on Elm Street with my older brother when I was younger, and I had nightmares for a month.
Then it's settled. Let's go watch the new Drew Barrymore movie. It got really good reviews, and anyway, I think it is the girls' turn to pick because the boys chose last time. Didn't you guys drag us to Die Hard 4 or some other dumb action movie?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I guess that's fair. But then the boys should be able to pick where we go for food afterwards.
Nachos and cheese at Taco Hut, right?
You got it. See you at the movie theater.
Now answer the questions. Number 5. What are the boy and girl mainly talking about? Number 6. What kind of movie does the girl want to watch? Number 7. Why does the boy hate horror movies? Number 8. What will the boy and girl probably do after the movie? Questions 9 through 12. Listen to a conversation between a student and his history teacher.
Excuse me, Mrs. Connors?
Julian, you're back. Have a seat. How are you feeling?
Okay, thanks. My surgery was a success. The doctors were able to remove the screws that kept the bones together in my wrist.
So your arm is fine now?
Well, it feels a bit weak, to be honest, and the doctors said that I'll have to go to physical therapy for the next couple of months to strengthen it. But I'm glad I have my left hand back. I had such a hard time doing everything with my right hand. I mean, taking notes in class was really impossible.
Well, it's good to have you back at school. Are you here to see what you've missed during these past couple of days?
Yes, I saw that you posted our research project on the school website. Can you give me more information about it?
Certainly. As you know, students must write an essay about 18th century America. Now you can choose any topic, such as the American Revolution or the impact of the Boston Tea Party, but you must have your topic approved by me. As for the essay, the most important thing you need to remember is that you must include at least 2 primary sources. That is, documents actually written in the 18th century. Our school library has a small collection of diaries and manuscripts from that time, but if you can't find anything, you can also check the city library downtown. They should have a much larger collection.
Now answer the questions. Number 9. What is the teacher explaining? Number 10. Why did the boy have surgery? Number 11. Why does the teacher talk about primary sources? Number 12. What is probably true about the boy? Questions 13 through 16. Listen to a conversation between a boy and his mother.
Kevin, why the long face? You've been down since you came home from school today. I have to go pick up your sister from violin practice, but why don't you come with me and tell me what's bothering you?
I was actually waiting for Dad to get home so I could tell you both at the same time.
Well, if that was the case, I should have told you this earlier. Your father will be home very late tonight, probably after you're in bed. He had to drive to San Francisco this afternoon to see a client.
Oh, then I guess I'll tell you first. Mom, I was cut from the basketball team today.
Kevin, I'm so sorry.
After practice, Coach Briggs told me, Miles and Todd, that he could only keep 14 players on the roster. He said he was really sorry to let us go and told us to try out again next year. I know I'm not as tall or as athletic as some of the other players, but I've been working really hard and I've improved a lot. So I really thought I would make the team.
I know you're disappointed, and you have every right to be. Is there anything I can do to cheer you up?
Not really.
Well, can I at least try? Since your father isn't coming home for dinner, how about we go to Joe's Crab Shack tonight?
You know what? That actually does make me feel a little better. Thanks, Mom.
Now answer the questions. Number 13. What are the speakers mainly discussing? Number 14. Why did the boy think he would make the basketball team? Number 15. Why does the boy's mother mention San Francisco? Number 16. What does the boy imply when he says,
That actually does make me feel a little better.
Questions 17 through 20. Listen to a teacher talking in an English class.
Finding a good work of science fiction can be a difficult task because it is not always clear exactly what science fiction is. The history of science fiction doesn't really help much because historians still argue about the true origins of science fiction. Some believe that science fiction existed as far back as when humans first began to write. In fact, they think that the first work of fictional literature, the Epic of Gilgamesh, is a work of science fiction because it has elements of the supernatural in it. But more and more historians now disagree with this viewpoint. They believe science fiction was impossible before the scientific revolution in the 16th century. Up until the 16th century, they say, fictional works like the Epic of Gilgamesh weren't based on science. Instead, they were based on magic and the supernatural. Even if there was science in the stories, that science could not work without magic. Therefore, it was not truly science fiction. After the scientific revolution, magic became unnecessary. For instance, a hero didn't use a magic tool to look at distant stars. He used a telescope. So, let's try to come up with a definition for science fiction then, based on this latter historical view. Science fiction is the story of how advances in science change society. Of course, one stipulation is that the science in the story cannot yet really exist in the world. Yet, the science should be plausible, that is, it should seem to be possible in the future. And actually, the science doesn't have to make society better. In some cases, it may make society worse. It can even destroy the world. This is a generally accepted definition of science fiction today. Now that we have a clearer definition, let's apply it to some other works of science fiction in the past.
Now answer the questions. Number 17. What is the talk mainly about? Number 18. Why do some historians think the Epic of Gilgamesh is not true science fiction? Number 19. Why does the teacher mention telescopes? Number 20. What will the teacher probably discuss next? Questions 21 through 24. Listen to a discussion in an art class.
Today, we're going to talk about the painting L'Absinthe by Edgar Degas. But first, I want to give you a brief history of the infamous beverage in the painting, absinthe. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, absinthe was wildly popular among writers and painters such as Ernest Hemingway, Vincent van Gogh, and Pablo Picasso. In fact, it was featured in many of their works. So, what is absinthe? Well, it is a highly alcoholic liquor, mainly made from a medicinal plant called wormwood. This plant contains a chemical called thujone. In the past, thujone was blamed for causing hallucinations, mental instability, and criminal behavior.
So, is it true? Does thujone cause all those things?
Well, recent medical studies say no. However, people in the past believed it did, and that was why absinthe was eventually banned. But I'll get that in a moment. Artists believed that absinthe raised their perceptions and consciousness. It was commonly referred to as the green fairy, partly because of its pleasing green color, but largely because writers and artists thought it had the power to free their minds. And the fact that absinthe was so popular among artists sparked the myth that it did indeed have the ability to inspire creativity. Absinthe reached the height of its popularity in the early 1900s. However, public support to ban absinthe grew after the drink became associated with violent crimes and social disorders. By 1915, this once popular drink was banned in most European countries and in the US. Okay, so let's go back to Degas' L'Absinthe. What can you see in this painting?
It shows a man and a woman in a cafe. The man is looking away. The woman is just staring downward toward her green drink, which I guess is absinthe.
Right. Basically, the painting depicts absinthe's decline in popularity.
Now answer the questions. Number 21. What is the main topic of the discussion? Number 22. Why does the teacher discuss the green fairy? Number 23. What sparked the myth that absinthe had the ability to inspire creativity? Number 24. Why was absinthe banned? Chapter 10. Practice Test 1. Number 1. Listen to a teacher talking to a class.
I have a quick announcement, everyone. During spring break, our school will be hosting an art camp for children from the neighborhood. They will use our classroom for a couple of days. So make sure you don't leave anything valuable in your desks. You can leave things like your notebooks and textbooks in your desk, but I want you to take home anything that is valuable.
What does the teacher want the students to do? Number 2. Listen to a nurse making an announcement in school.
This year, our school is working together with Sitwell Hospital to offer free flu shots. This will happen Saturday morning in the gym. All students are encouraged to come and get a free flu shot. Please pick up an information brochure and a parent consent form in my office. The forms must be signed by a parent. Bring the forms with you when you come on Saturday.
What is the purpose of the announcement? Number 3. Listen to a principal making an announcement in school.
This is a quick reminder. Cell phones are not allowed in classrooms and must be turned off during school hours. Please leave your phones in your book bags or your lockers. Students who do not follow this rule will have their phones taken away. And keep in mind that to get your phone back, you will need to have a note from your parents.
What is the purpose of the announcement? Number 4. Listen to a teacher talking to a class.
Okay, everyone, listen up. To review for next week's exam, we're going to play a game today. Now, before I explain the game, we need to divide into teams of 4. So pick your team and then push your desks together. When you've done that, please clear off your desks. You don't need anything for this game.
What will the students probably do next? Questions 5 through 8. Listen to a conversation between a student and a school nurse.
Excuse me, can I ask you something?
Of course you can. Are you all right? What's wrong?
It's my stomach. It's been aching for a few days. I told my mom about it, but she thinks I just don't want to go to school. But it really hurts.
Let me take a look at it. Well, there is some swelling, but it's not near your stomach. It's near your appendix. I think you need to go see a doctor right away.
I knew there was something wrong, but I guess it's not really my mom's fault. I do sometimes complain about being sick when I don't really feel too bad.
It's never a good idea to pretend that you're sick.
Yeah, I know that now, and I'll never do it again.
Well, let's call your mom and get her to pick you up. When she arrives, I'll have a talk with her, and then she can take you to the doctor. And don't worry, I'll let your teacher know that you had to leave school.
Now answer the questions. Number 5. What are the boy and the nurse mainly talking about? Number 6. Why does the nurse think the boy should see a doctor? Number 7. Why does the boy say it is not his mother's fault? Number 8. What will the nurse probably do next? Questions 9 through 12. Listen to a conversation between a student and a school janitor.
Hi, Ms. Rose sent me to get you. There's a problem with our classroom door. It won't lock. She says the lock is jammed.
Oh, okay. Did she break her key off in the lock? Because if she did, I'll need to call a professional. I can't fix that.
No, she didn't. The key goes in and out, but it won't turn at all.
It sounds like we need a locksmith anyway. I'll call one right now, but it might be an hour before he gets here.
Oh, that long? She asked if you could come look at it right away. You see, she's ready to go home, but she doesn't want to leave her classroom unlocked. So she's waiting there for you to come.
I see. Why are you still here then? School is over for today.
Actually, I had detention.
Ah, I see. Okay, I'll call first and then I'll come right up. Maybe it's something simple that I can fix. In my experience, a lot of things can be fixed with just a few taps from the hammer.
Then I'll stop at the classroom on my way home and tell Ms. Rose that you'll be there shortly.
Now answer the questions. Number 9. What are the speakers mainly talking about? Number 10. Why does the janitor talk about a locksmith? Number 11. What can be inferred about the girl? Number 12. Why does the teacher want the janitor to come right away? Questions 13 through 16. Listen to a conversation between a student and her teacher.
Jane, can I speak with you?
Okay, I guess.
Don't look so worried. You're not in trouble. It's just that I've noticed you haven't been yourself lately. You look tired in class, and your homework isn't as good as usual. I was wondering if there's something I can help with.
Well, my mom was recently in a car crash, and she broke her leg and got a few other bumps and bruises. So I've been helping her out around the house. You know, taking care of my little brother, bathing him and getting him ready for bed, and stuff like that. I never realized that my mom worked so hard. It's been making me really tired.
I see. I wish you would have told me this earlier. In future, if you have any problems that affect your schoolwork, please let me know.
Okay. I guess I didn't realize how much it was affecting me.
I'll make the homework assignments optional for you for the next couple of weeks.
You would do that?
Now answer the questions. Number 13. What are the speakers mainly talking about? Number 14. Why does the girl talk about bathing her brother? Number 15. Why did the girl not tell her teacher about her problem? Number 16. What does the girl imply when she says,
You would do that?
Questions 17 through 20. Listen to a teacher talking in a PE class.
Sports have become an important part of popular culture. We watch sports often, and we cheer for our favorite sports teams. There are a lot of different sports played around the world. Yes, believe it or not, there are other sports besides baseball, basketball, and football. Let's talk about some of these. One sport that a lot of you might not know about is cricket. It has an interesting history. For those of you that don't know, cricket is a sport played with a bat and a ball. It is played on an open field. There are 2 teams of 11 players, and it's a really old sport. It was first played in England. It began as a children's game in the 16th century. But the popularity of cricket grew quickly among adults, too. By the 18th century, it had become the national sport of England. Due mainly to British colonialism, the game soon spread around the world. It began to be played in places like India, the Caribbean, South Africa, Australia, and New Zealand. By the middle of the 19th century, international games were being played. Today, cricket is enjoyed by millions of people. It's probably not as well known around the world as some other sports, such as soccer. That's because not as many countries play cricket. But those who do play seem to love it. That brings us to another sport you may not know much about: polo.
Now answer the questions. Number 17. What is the teacher mainly talking about? Number 18. Where was cricket first played? Number 19. Why does the teacher mention soccer? Number 20. What will the teacher probably discuss next? Questions 21 through 24. Listen to part of a discussion in a social studies class.
Another interesting example of popular culture is nursery rhymes.
Nursery rhymes? Do you mean those kids' stories like Snow White?
No, you're thinking of fairy tales. We'll be talking about those in tomorrow's class. Nursery rhymes are traditional songs for young children. I'm sure you all know rhymes like Humpty Dumpty.
Oh, now I know what you mean. My mom used to sing those to me when I was little.
That's right. Nursery rhymes were first written down in the 16th century. By the 18th century, there were hundreds of nursery rhymes that were familiar to many people.
Wow, I didn't know nursery rhymes were that old.
Yes, they are old. And some people say that nursery rhymes have hidden meanings. Things the writers of them wanted to say, but in a way that not everyone would understand. Unfortunately, this has never been proved. But what is certain is many nursery rhymes contain a lot of violence. As a result, many people, particularly parents, have said that nursery rhymes are not good for young children. Personally, I don't think they are any worse than modern animation on the Disney Channel. Furthermore, most children don't understand the stories. They just like the sound of them. Okay, that's all the time we have today. For tomorrow's class, I want everyone to be prepared to tell me about their favorite fairy tale. Don't forget to read Chapter 5 in your books tonight. See you tomorrow.
Now answer the questions. Number 21. What is the teacher mainly discussing? Number 22. When were nursery rhymes first written down? Number 23. Why do many parents think that nursery rhymes are not good for young children? Number 24. What will the students probably do in tomorrow's class?